welcome to the Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show. I am your host, Tonya Hofmann, and as always, I have an incredibly fabulous guest. And today we have the most amazing woman, Miss Mary Ottman. Hey, Mary.
Hey, how are you doing? I haven't been called fabulous in about a week, so that's awesome.
And as you see, I mean, we're going to have a good time.
Absolutely.
And Mary is amazing, and you'll love her accent. So hello. So before we get started with Mary, remember that we too want you to go out and change the world from the front of the room by getting involved with the Public Speakers Association. So simply go to Public Speakers with an S, Association all spelled out.com to find out more information today. And just contact me if you have any questions. All right, so let's get into this. So tell me, Mary, how fabulous are you? What do you have going on?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I couldn't actually get more fabulous than I am right now. I'm just saying. No. So seriously, I mean, stuff is coming in like crazy. And thank you so much for the Public Speakers Association, because that's really helped me. I just moved to Austin in June. I retired at the end of May and moved here. And today I got another request for a quote. So thank you for that. I'm a professional speaker, everybody. Mary Ottman. I am a business coach, and my focus is both business and leadership. And also I'm a professional speaker, and I focus on those topics as well. And so basically what I do is I empower business leaders, both current and aspiring, to maximize their effectiveness with strategies and tools to impact their bottom line by synchronizing with their teams and helping everybody work together more effectively.
Awesome. I love that you do so many fabulous things, but we all are imperfect at the same time. Yes. And that's why I think your accent is so valuable, because I hear a lot of times, and it just drives me crazy, people are like, well, I'd love to be a speaker, but I've got this accent and I don't think I could, or they have an accent from a different country. Mm-hmm. Or a lot of times it's just like that Southern accent that they're embarrassed about. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. And so I think that's absolutely the key is for everything you do, you're going to have about 50 people that tell you couldn't do it or you shouldn't do it, and about 1 or 2 that's probably your mom and your dad or whoever that says, yes, baby, you're going to be great at that. So you have to press on. Actually, when I was in leadership positions in the Army, we would do things called 360-degree assessments. So basically, your boss gave you anonymous feedback, but there's only one boss, so you knew who it was. It wasn't like a secret, And your peers gave you feedback, and then also your subordinates gave you feedback. And I had peers that would say, you need to go take diction lessons. You need to lose the accent, and I would go brief at the Pentagon. They said, they're going to think you're stupid with your blonde hair and that voice, and I did just fine. And that's the key, is believe in yourself and your own gifts and just press through. Because I did a podcast recently, and you helped me with that through the Public Speakers Association. And one of the other guests on the podcast called me back later and asked me to do voiceover work with this accent. Who would have thunk it, Tonya? Who would have thunk it? That was fabulous.
That was one of my big fears, was my voice, because I don't have that beautiful voice, whatever. And I remember going into AM studios, was doing radio, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do radio, that's all I can hear is my voice, so I have to get over it. But my husband was going to be the lead. I was just going to be the second, until the producer's like, oh no, you're the lead, baby, because you've got the weird voice. People are going to remember you. And I'm like, oh, it's a positive and not a negative.
That is awesome. I think that's exactly right. Instead of suppressing the things that make us different, we need to celebrate that and just lead with that and strengthen that, Absolutely.
Yeah. And you forget how big the Southern population is that you really resonate with, right? Because then they're like, oh, someone that, I can understand.
Yeah. So that's one thing about moving to Austin. Apparently I sound like I'm from East Texas. So the the voiceover work I did, it was about having a Texas twang. So I'm like, hey, I'll do that. If that sounds like Texas, I'm from Texas. And actually, it was pretty great because I moved here and I say all y'all, and I don't need a translator. They get me here. So you have to revel in your differences for sure.
I know it's so hard for us to kind of get out of that. Oh, I'm so weird. I'm so different. Coming and having a speech impediment. I have a really hard time with certain words, especially longer words, which are usually more, acceptable as professional words. And so I shorten everything down, or I could make new words that's never been invented, like fabulousness, and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly.
And people, used to would make kind of fun of me until they realized that, wow, Tanya's really using it. And look at her. She's, going and speaking all over the world now.
Laughing all the way to the bank. I love that.
So
Well,
when you're
go ahead.
out there with leadership and
Mhm.
so, I mean, you've been a leader of men,
Yes.
probably, in very
Yes.
male dominated world. Is that difficult?
It's definitely different. So I was an electrical engineering student and worked my way up to executive level leader in the Army Civil Service. So engineering in and of itself, being a technical field, is male dominated for sure. So, difficult in that, we women were told not to wear open-toed shoes. We were told not to wear ruffles. You can't look, you have to look a certain way, right? The same with banking industries and those types of things in the leadership positions. But it's difficult, but it's not impossible. It's like any organization. You have to figure out the culture and then figure out how to be successful in that culture. So absolutely, I do play to those strengths. Those really helped me. And actually, they did the Myers-Briggs. I don't know if anybody's done that personality test, but most of the engineers, like 300 of them, were over in this corner with the we don't want to ever talk to anyone category. Like, don't ever talk to us. And then over here, I was with about 5 people in the extrovert category. So it served me well. I gave a lot of presentations at conferences and things in the technical world. So, in terms of speaking, it definitely helped. And frankly, to me, speaking is as necessary as being able to type on your keyboard. And okay, I know we have peckers out there, peckers like this on the keyboard, but these days you just can't be efficient and effective without knowing how to, type and get things done, but B, speaking. If I always say, if Einstein had E equal MC squared in a paper bag, if he couldn't have explained it to people that didn't have his brain power, it'd still be in there. So you could have all the great ideas in the world, but if you actually cannot communicate them, then you've got a problem. You're not going to be as effective as you could be.
Right, exactly. I love it because a lot of times people think that, leadership and stepping out on your own and kind of being involved in a world that's maybe a little bit different or challenging is impossible if they can't relate to everybody that's in that world. And what you do is you figure out, how do you kind of adjust to your environment so that you're allowing them to shine and be their brilliant self, but as the same time kind of owning your power and leveling yourself up. Is that what you
Absolutely.
see?
So I think the what happens is people get promoted to leadership because of their technical accomplishments, because of what they did in the job before that. But when you become a leader, now your job is people. And just like you were saying, figuring out the introverts versus the extroverts, and then the people that want all the details versus the people that want high level. And then now you've also got the millennials and the older generations having their issues, right? And so it's, in my personal opinion and how I led, was it was my job to be the translator. You can't pick one and go, you're right, and everybody else conform, because you're not going to maximize the strengths of your team. So absolutely, the leader is what I like to think of as the hub, and all the different types of people are the spokes, and you have to be that glue that brings them together and makes everyone shine.
Right. Because I see a lot of people that just discount people. They're like, oh, that 20-year-old, oh, or that whatever, that woman, that man, that whatever. They put like everybody into this little category instead of just saying, hello person, how can we both work together, and what is your real uniqueness?
That's
And
right.
even with myself, having teams of people or even helping people find speaking opportunities and things, how do I let them shine in their brilliance, and how do I connect them to someone that would be like a glue factor?
Exactly. And I think, I'm all about paying it forward. And when you let other people shine, typically they reach back and send things your way. I'm not a tit for tat kind of person. I'm very much about helping. I'm a connector. I bridge people. And that all pays off, I think, when you help people shine like that. We have to remember people aren't just those job descriptions. They've got families, they're going through divorces, they've got aging parents that are driving them crazy, or maybe not, but there's depression, there's anxiety, there's health problems. They're these complex people, and so to treat everyone the same is just really, I always say lead from the heart from the start.
Nice.
I mean, so you have to really care, but be fair, right? I'm not a softie. I don't think anybody would call me a softie, but I'm fair. And you have to take that into account, when you're leading people, because I've been through 2 divorces. So I know it. I mean, those things affect you, so it's really nice to have, work is not a therapy session for sure. Not saying that, but it's good to know, that you have some level of understanding in the workplace. And when your leader understands when you're going through something like that, man, you would knock it out of the park for them, right? I mean, it just builds so much loyalty and team bonding too.
Oh, yeah.
So. Mm-hmm.
Well, it always shocks me because I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about their team at work, and I was trying to connect them to people like yourself and everything for training at their business. They're like, "Hell, we need to figure out how to get my team motivated to do more." It says, this guy, yeah, his mother died last week, but he needs to get over it. I'm like, what? A week of mourning? Is that enough? I don't know. That doesn't seem like a long time.
No. And that's another thing that I speak on is how to self-diagnose your leadership problems, because usually people don't tell you that you have problems until you're so bad they've conquered their own fear of conflict to tell you. And you've burned so many bridges at that point that it's going to be hard to stay in that position and fix those. So yeah, being able to assess something like that, if you're impatient with somebody losing their mother, you might have a leadership problem in the tone of Jeff Foxworthy. You're a sign of a problem.
Oh my gosh, exactly. So I know you have something amazing to share with our listeners today. Tell us how we can get connected to you and if you've got something to offer us.
I do. So my signature speech is, will you stay stuck or step up? 5 keys to taking success to the next level. So in terms of this offering, I have a webinar. It's called Will You Stay Stuck or Speak Up? 5 keys to speaking with confidence. So all the listeners here today, you can go to my page at staystuckorspeakup.com, and you can get your free download of that webinar.
Awesome. All right. So you're going to have to go that immediately. Stay stuck or
speak up.
Speak up. Right. Write it down so you don't forget.
Stay stuck or speak up.
There you go. Love it. All right. So go there like now. So, because you'll want to connect with Mary anyways.
I would love to hear from you. Absolutely.
I know, right? It's like, yay. And really remember that all of my amazing guests, they're amazing too. Go and book on your next events and, everything. So get connected to Mary. Follow her on social media. Follow myself. Hey, if you haven't followed me yet, what are you waiting for? Tonya Hofmann. Remember, 1 F, 2 N's. Can't find me other ways. And we'd love to connect with you more. All right. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, everybody. See y'all next time.
Thank you, Tonya. Bye.